It's your girl, Princess with the Real. You already know, from 2HotRadio. I'm sitting down with a brilliant man. I'm just going to say a brilliant man because he do a couple of this and a couple of that. You know, I don't do a lot of small talk, so I'm going to let him introduce himself. Let people know who you is, where you from, and how they can find you.
Yo, man. What's up, y'all? It's the one and only Playboy, Playboii, aka Lil Playboy. We coming live straight from Atlanta, man. I've been doing this thing for a long time. I used to be part of a group called Cash Camp. Some of y'all might know us from that. The whole Crank That Soulja Boy, Crank That Yank movement. We started 15, 16 years ago. And right now we got this new record going on, man. So we just on this campaign run trying to turn 200,000 to 200 million. You know what I mean? We're trying to turn 2 into 10.
Look, so I want to back it up from, when you were a group, when you were a part of that Soulja Boy, Crank That. Let's first of all talk about how you first got into, dealing with music.
Dealing with who?
With music.
Music. Yeah, I've been doing music my whole life. When you said music, I thought you was, I don't know why. I was thinking about one of my mentors, Music Soul Child. But actual music, Playboy, actual music. Yeah, I've been doing music my whole life. I probably started as a kid. Like, I remember, I think it's like 96 or something. The Atlanta Falcons went to the Super Bowl, and our teacher told us to write a rap. I was like in first grade, writing my first rap.
Oh, wow.
So ever since then, I fell in love with it. So Atlanta is a big music-based city. So that's another thing. Like when we was young, we used to go to the skating ring. Like either you be in the middle of the circle dancing, or you skating, dancing, or, we hear the music while we skating. We learn the words. We get our favorite songs. And it just kicked off as a child, like between skating rings and older siblings and stuff like that. It been in me for a while. I've been in
okay, so that was gonna be my next question. Did you have family members that's in the industry, who's putting out music that you kind of, looked up to?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I got distant family that's not like close to me, but they motivated me from a distance. Lil Romeo is my blood cousin. Master P married his mom, which is my mom's cousin. Romeo's mom, Sonya, and my mom, they're cousins. My mom's dad, and his grandma are brothers and sisters. So we like third cousins. So I remember as a kid, I used to watch. My mom used to tell us, all the time. Yeah, P, your cousin, and he married to my cousin, and then that's his son, Romeo. Like I met Romeo like 3 times before he blew up and became Romeo. So then once he got on TV, I'm like, oh man, this ain't nothing but motivation, because it's like this is one of my distant cousins, and I think they lived maybe like in Baton Rouge at that time, big house. I was like, this is one of my cousins that, if he on TV doing it, I know I could do it. So that's what just made me push even harder, especially at a young age, because I think Romeo like a year younger than me. So seeing him go number 1 on 106 & Park at that age, he probably was like 13, 14 years old. I was like, man, I can do the same thing. 3 years later, we doing the same thing. You know what I mean? So it just made me work harder, for sure.
And now, who did you have in your corner backing you at a young age, motivating you to go after your dreams?
My city. I got to say the city for sure. We took over the city of Atlanta so fast and so quick. And also the internet, man. Like this was when the era of YouTube first came out, the era of like MySpace, all of those social medias that really wasn't social media, but it was kind of like, this is when you had to have a college email address to even get on Facebook. I remember we used to.
You talking about like around 03, 04?
Yeah, like 2000, 2004, 2005. That's when we started taking it serious. Remember I told you we used to be dancing a lot too. So we always rapped and we always danced. And
what kind of dancing y'all was doing?
It just depends on the
era.
era.
Break dancing, was it like y'all did a little bit of everything, ticking and all.
It depends on the era, man. We used to rag top, we used to bankhead bounce, we used to tick, all that, man. We like be in the middle of the circle cranking it. You know what I mean? That's where the word, like the word crank pretty much came from. Like, yeah, man, we about to go crank it up. Like we just be freestyling, doing all kind of different stuff, man. And from that era going on to like the the rap era, doing all that stuff in them skating rings, like I feel like we would take over one skating ring at a time. Like we'll start at Golden Glide, then we'll go to the south side and go to Skate Zone and Sparkles, and then go to the west side, be at Cascade. Like once we start getting that our face known around all the cities, going to different skating rings, and then we also used to be on the skates too. So we'll be dancing while we're on the skates. It's kind of like ATL. Like you remember the movie ATL,
yeah,
right?
That's what you was giving me the feel on when you said you was at the skating ring. Like I be out there trying to dance on them, but I ain't the pro with that kind of stuff.
Nah. We used to be out there turning up for real. That's how my childhood was spent, you know what I mean? In the skating rings. And then also a lot of these skating rings too, they always used to have their little teen clubs in the back or to the left or to the side. So even if you didn't know how to skate, everybody from the schools, no matter what county you was in, Clayton County had their skating rings, DeKalb, Fulton. I don't think there was no skating ring. No, it was a skating ring in Gwinnett. We performed there one time.
I used to go out there in the summertime to the skating ring in Gwinnett.
What is it called?
Summertime. I can't remember what it was called, but growing up, I used to be
at something like that. We went there a long time ago. I forgot. Not the one, not all American. I think not All American Skate. Well, technically that's Gwinnett, but that's kind of like Stone Mountain Gwinnett though. All American. It's another one farther up.
Yeah, Buford area.
Yeah. But I think the city of Atlanta pretty much supported us so good that the fact that we could do whatever we want on any side of the town. And then also we were just young, fresh faces that, everybody just liked. We didn't really have no smoke with nobody in the city. We ain't really had no beef with nobody in the city. Our names was always clean. We got our break off of dance songs and stuff.
And now, did you ever, I know you said, you had distant cousins that, was already on in the industry. Did you ever try to use their name to, get your name popping?
No. I just gave you exclusive. I ain't never told nobody in the world Romeo my cousin.
Okay.
Never.
Okay. And that'd be good to know because a lot of people come in the industry trying to use the names of people that they connect with.
Nah, I built my own name. I built my own brand. We used to also dance like in videos and stuff, right? And we used to practice these long routines, like for DJ and the Franchise Boys, and like when the whole Snap movie came out, do the Pool Palace. Like we'll come up with these long routines, go to these video shoots, and then we'll be dancing the whole video shoot, 3 hours straight, 4 hours straight, however long that dance scene is. And then when the video come out, they'll probably show a small cameo of you for a quick 16 seconds or something, and then you like, man, what the hell we done practiced this routine for a week straight just to be on, camera for 2 seconds. So we was like, man, we want the world to see us. So then we start doing our own videos and uploading them on YouTube and MySpace. And then when we start doing those dance routines on YouTube and MySpace, that's what really just made us even more famous online. So now we getting millions of views overnight. And when we at school, everybody at school talking about it. Everybody at your rival school talking about it. And then it's just like people just kept building the buzz up, man. I think, like I said,
as far as you went, as the buzz was building up, everybody talking, everybody saying they like it and stuff. Did they give you the big head? How did that change you anyway and make you, less humble?
Nah, because it happened so fast. I think that I didn't even realize how big I was when it happened. And then also, not to toot my own horn, I always kind of been like a young, fly, handsome dude. So it wasn't like I'm getting attention that I never got before. Like I always been cool. I didn't grow up rich or nothing, but it was like 5 of us. And I got two older sisters. And I used to, both of them had jobs, and they used to work at like little Checkers and wing spots and stuff like that. So they used to be buying themselves all the little fresh race car jackets and all the Jordans every week. And then my mama still was buying us clothes. So I used to be stealing all their clothes. And they was in high school. So I was like in middle school. So didn't nobody know that me coming to school with a new pair of Jordans on twice out the, 2-3 times out the week, that I'm stealing my sister's shoes. I'm stealing they $300 leather jackets and race car jackets. Like I always been fly and fresh, because I used to be jacking my sisters for their clothes. You know what I mean? So I kind of already been known in my county, in my schools and stuff like that, just for being, just a cool fly kid, man. Like everybody always rocked with me.
Now, other than being a cool fly kid, Was your grades good? Was you one of them class clowns? Like, talk about, how you was in school.
Yeah. Man, shit, man. My school life was kind of all over the place. I ain't gonna lie to you. I got into a fight from 4th grade all the way to 9th grade in school. And it got to the point, even when I was like, I think 7th or 8th grade, I got expelled. I had to go to alternative school for like a whole second semester. But this is one thing that most Black men don't do. And it's talk to therapists and speak therapy. A lot of Black people, period. One time I was talking to my therapist and I had told her that same story. I said how I used to get in trouble from school from 4th grade all the way to 9th grade. She pointed out to me, she said, do you know those are the age range where you told me that's when your father first went to jail, and then when your father got out of jail? I was like, wow. It's like certain things that we be in our environment, we probably don't even know.
Yeah.
So outside of that time frame when my dad was locked up and I was bad as hell, just going on a rant, because my dad, he had us lit. He was probably one of the biggest scammers. He used to do like telemarketing fraud back in the day. He ended up getting locked up for it. He had us in big houses, nice cars, all that stuff. And then when he ended up going to jail, hey, we had to go to the hood, but we still had a lot of the nice things that we had from before he ended up going to jail. And then, like I said, that's when my sisters and them started working. I started rocking their stuff. It was like, now I'm in the hood, just fresh. Everybody loving me. I'm sharing my gifts. Everybody come to our house, eat up all our food and play out. We probably the only people in the neighborhood with the Nintendo and the PlayStation. Like, I was just one of them kids that everybody loved. So,
and I like that you went back and touched on, why you were fighting, because that was going to be my question. What was it that had you fighting every year? But I get it when you say, you had a father present in your life and he disappeared out of your life for that amount of time. So when he came back into your life and things started turning for the good, talk about, how that changed after he got out.
Well, when my dad got out, my stepdad had already came in my life, and he was trying to take over the position that my dad kind of left off at, but he just couldn't do it the way that my dad did, because of course that's not your real dad. You know what I mean? But my stepdad, he like my second father too. So I always kind of had like a man there trying to, motivate me and pipe me up. But when my dad first got out, his whole life was totally different. He changed. Because like I said, remember when he went in, that man was making damn near 60,000 a month type, just jugging. So he got out, he did his time, but he ain't have his money no more. And he couldn't move how he was moving before. And also, I'm like, in 9th grade going to 10th grade, it's kind of like I resent this nigga now, because like shit, you ain't never take me to no basketball games. You ain't teach me how to throw a football. You ain't teach me how to tie no tie, put no condom on. I'm tried to trap, all kind of other stuff in the hood. Now he gone. Now he can't tell me nothing, because I'm already moving the way I'm moving, because that grow up phase between, being a 9-year-old in 4th grade and being a 14, 15-year-old in 9th, 10th grade is like, nah, you can't really tell me nothing. So I think that I was more, and also, like I said, I was kind of popular. I was more so like sticking to what I know and listening to the people that already was been around me and helped me get piped up like how I was piped up. So I really
when he got out, was he trying to make a connection with you?
Kind of. I remember my dad, he had this little job where he was cleaning carpets and shit like that. And he was like, man, come to work with me and I'll pay you every house we do. I'll give you a little extra, just help me out. So I'm his helper, and he got me in there sweating, cleaning carpets and shit. I was mad as hell when he paid me, man. That man gave me probably like $10 a house. We did like 5 houses. I walked away with like $50. I was mad as shit. It's like, bro, I already know you got like 200 a house. Like, how the hell you got walked away with $1,000? I'm walking away with $50. Like, hell no, you still on that scamming shit, man. Leave me alone.
He was still the same person he was, he just came out on the
legal though. He ain't scamming them old folks over the phones no more. You scamming your own goddamn child. God damn, Pops.
Now, I know you talk about your father, you talked about your sisters. How was your relationship with your mom?
Me and my mom relationship has always been tight. My mom got 5 kids. So I got a big brother, 2 older sisters, me, and then it's my younger brother. My younger brother, is YBT. He was part of my group with me. Yellow Boy Trent. He was in our when we had Crank That Yank. He was with me every step of the way. Every time you see me dance, he was dancing with me, no matter what stage it was on. The Source Awards, BET Awards. My brother from my group, that's like my blood brother. People don't be knowing that I shared a bedroom with this kid all the way till I was probably like in 9th, 10th grade, like sleeping on bunk beds. Like that's like one of my close best friends. So
now, at what age was y'all when y'all started y'all group?
He was like, okay, so my group kind of formed into a group, but we was doing music for a long time. At first, so I tried to, copy off of like Camp, right? Big how he had the Camp records, and he had Baby D, Lil C, Intoxicated. Like it was like a label or like a clique, you know what I mean? So that's where I got Cash Camp from. Like Big was a big influence on me and my music. A lot of their songs, if you think about it too, is like crunk, dancing, walk it out, 2-step, all that type stuff. Walk it like you want to walk it, talk it like you want to talk it. That influence over Atlanta put me where I needed to be at that age. So we were around, I probably was like in like 9th grade for sure when I started like making songs in the studio. So my little brother probably was like, if I was in 9th grade, he was probably like in 6th or 7th grade, something like that. So once we start rapping and then it start blowing up, then I turned the label into an actual group. You know what I mean? Okay. And then that probably was like around, he might have been like 16. Or no, he was probably like 14, and I was probably like 18, because I'm like 4 years older than him. I'm like 3 years older than him. So yeah, it's just hard to kind of catch the exact age, but we were still young though. We were young.
So y'all was young. So y'all was young when y'all started doing music, but you was dancing before the music.
Well, I was doing both.
You was doing both. Okay.
Well, that's cap. That's cap. Because I always danced a little. But like I told you, I remember I wrote my first rap a long time ago. And when I was in like 1st, 2nd grade or something like that. They made us sit. They was like, girls come up with a cheer, guys make a rap, or women, if you want to make a rap, whatever. You know how it was back then. Like you could kind of like separate the sexes. You can't do that no more. You tell the child that at school, they gonna raise hell. But back then they told us to do whatever. I made my rap, and I've been like fell in love with rhyming ever since. Cause the thing was also whoever made the best rap win a prize or something, and I won. So I got a little prize from the class. It was like some candy out of a bucket or something, whatever. Like when you
but it motivated you. You had you walking around like you can't tell me nothing.
Nah. But I also remember dancing at a young age too, to the fact where I would be knew the whole Michael Jackson Thriller routine from the whole movie, all this from the beginning to the end. And my mom used to be saying, "Hey, come in here and show them that dance." And then me and my cousins in there doing the whole Thriller moonwalk dance. You know what I mean? So I've been dancing my whole life as well. You know what I mean? That's just part of the Atlanta culture, I think.
But when you speak about dancing as well as rapping, I can see that glow in you when you're speaking about it. So I can tell that you do enjoy both. Mm-hmm. And now, so you were doing them both at the same time. You got your group formed. Y'all doing the music. Now, when you form the group and y'all working on y'all music, whether it was individual or together as a group in the label, were you still taking the dancing as serious at that time?
Yeah, because that's when we were definitely like, that's when we would be like at the little teen clubs or the skate rings or like the school basketball game, football game, whatever. Like sometimes at the basketball game, they'll play music and stuff like that. Or at the football game, they play music. Then everybody in the stands just turning up, and you hear the whole arena cheering for you, and they ain't even watching the football game no more. They watching you. So it's like that rush, that adrenaline rush we just used to have was so lit, like where we was doing it all the time. So, but we also rap too. So people always known us for doing both, between, like I was saying, dancing at these games and these skate rings and stuff like that. Girls, sliding you their numbers and all kind of stuff, man. It was like crazy. Like it was real crazy.
And so how did you stay focused on, doing your music and dancing and stuff with all of the attention that was coming? Because I know, but the way you're speaking of your story and the things that you were going through, everybody was up on you. You know, the females wanted to be next to you. The dudes wanted to say they know you. So how did you stay focused and not get wrapped into the wrong things?
It was hard. I definitely got wrapped into the wrong thing. It was hard. It was hard. I definitely got wrapped into the wrong things. Yeah, I don't look like it, but my daughter, 18 years old. I had my daughter at a young age. Because guess what? I got wrapped into the.
Now, how young we talking? Because I was 15 when I first got pregnant. So how young you talking?
Not 15, but her mom was like 15.
Okay.
Her mom was 15, and she had her when she just turned 16.
Okay.
My baby mama had turned 16, and my daughter was born in June, and my daughter was born in July. Okay. And I was 17.
So that made you had to wake up and really figure out how to get things together.
I was 17, she was 16, and we had a newborn right then and there. Yeah. That's another reason why I was grinding so hard too, because we ain't make money then. We was just known and famous like in the schools and the skating ring community and stuff like that. But we ain't get on the radio yet. We ain't make it to 106 and Park yet. We ain't do all that stuff yet. We wasn't on TRL or doing the big birthday bashes where you performing in front of 20,000 people. We ain't make it there yet.
Y'all was still on grind mode. So you ain't grind mode.
Well, my brother and my two partners, they was still just outside having fun. Me, I'm trying to figure it out because I already knew I had something going on where it was like, man, I gotta. And then I also was a little bit older than them because I was a senior and then I was graduated during this whole time frame. Like when we hit our success, they were just like 9th and 10th grade. They were still young, so they were out there.
How was y'all financing everything?
Man, when you say finance, what you mean, like studio time and stuff like that?
Studio time, everything that goes into being an artist, being a dancer, all of that.
We started off with recording in the closet with the microphone on the sock. I mean, with the sock on the microphone. That's how we started. And, it piped us up online and got us to where we need to go to now that I got a whole setup in my crib and I can record and do whatever I want when I want. You know what I mean? But I started off in the closet, and then when we start getting our buzz and we start performing at like little open mics and stuff like that, I ended up meeting a guy, and he had a studio, and he ended up becoming our manager, our old manager, and he believed in us so much, and he was like, man, y'all can record here, and we're gonna do a mixtape, and whenever we get the mixtape, we'll sell it, and whatever we make once we sell it. And we print it up. I'll help y'all print it up. I'll help y'all record it. Where we sell it, we'll just split it. And I'm like, all right, cool. So that's pretty much just having somebody that believed in me then and helped push the way for us back then. My old manager, he definitely held us down with that for sure.
And it's not just having someone to believe in you. Like, I like to highlight every part of that. Not only did he believe in you, but you took a chance on yourself by going out and networking and meeting people that, once you told them who you were, you sold them on you to make them believe in you. How did you do that? What was your, mentality when it came to going out and networking?
I always been like an extrovert. Like I always talk. I always be like the life of the party. Like I just always meet people. I've never really been shy or to myself. Like when it's time to network, talk, like I'll be one of the first ones. When you remember when we used to be in school and the first day of school, they'd be like, hey, y'all introduce yourself, and nobody would stand up. I'd be the first one to stand up. Like that's just me. I always been, a talkable person. Like I like to talk. I be talking to myself sometimes. I walk around the house I call it talking to God because I be manifesting. Like I like to talk, man. I'm a talker. So it was easy, man. Like I don't know. I don't want to say I'm likable, but I hear that a lot too. Like when somebody is talking to you, and not only that, but we had good music that also could back itself up. So while they're listening to our music, and nothing, no shade to the kids to today, because some of our music was like kind of ratchet and crazy too, but it was like marketable. You see what I'm saying? Like nobody wants to put money or time behind a 14-year-old and a 15-year-old and 16-year-old talking about catching bodies and selling drugs and all a bunch of crazy shit. Like some of our songs we did talk about, you know, might beat somebody up or guns and this and that, but it wasn't like how it is now, like how these kids.
Yeah, back in our days, it was more so if it was younger kids, they wanted you to still be a kid in the music.
Yeah, for sure. And we might talk about girls a little bit, like Superman, that whole like, of course, like, but at the same time, that could be the dance, or you could be goddamn talking about, you know, when he say super soak, that whole, what is he really referring to? Understand what I'm saying? So it could kind of go both ways. It just wasn't as crazy as it is now, where people just say the young generation say whatever they want. So that once they seen that, you know, they could sell us and we could make money, you know, everybody want to be aboard. Everybody want a piece of the pie.
And now that took y'all to the next level of working with Soulja Boy with the Crank That.
I ended up finding Soulja Boy. So once I ended up getting actually I met Soulja before I even met my manager. I met Soulja Boy online on MySpace. I don't know if you remember how MySpace worked, right? But they used to have like the top artists. You know, like how we had our top 8. MySpace used to have like the top artists on in every state, and they had signed artists and unsigned artists. MySpace was real big on music too. Remember, they let you used to put some music on your profile and all kind of stuff like that. Like, it was big for music. So our artist account, we used to always be like in the top 5. And I used to always want to go number 1, but I could never make it. There was always like 3-4 groups that was always bigger than us. The Black Mob and the Fam and TC and all these other hood unsigned folks that was in the city right now that making noise, they were always number 1. We was like going back from 4 to 4 to 5. I think I might have peaked at 3. I was like, man, we gotta find other artists that's in the top rankings of their state and collab with them. And once we collab with them, we're gonna take their fan base and they're gonna use ours, and we just gonna come up together. So I went looking through different you know, top artists. It's crazy. I was talking to Speaker Knockers because he was top artist in his state, RP. I reached out to Soulja. In Florida, it was this group called the Pretty Boys. I don't know if you remember them or not, but they had like they from Duval. They had like a big buzz. They was on 106 and Park and stuff too. Like, I was just reaching out to all the different top artists that was in the States. And Soulja was around Georgia. Soulja was in Mississippi. But Soulja worked so well because he was from Atlanta. And it was like easier to make a song that fit us, because one thing that Soulja used to do, even though he lived in Mississippi, he's from Atlanta. So he'll be on MySpace looking at everything that the Atlanta people are doing, and he'll take it back to Mississippi. Like when he seen the name wrote on the glasses, he seen that from Flowmasters. So he went and put it on there. He seen the big, you know, painted tees. He seen that's the stuff that we was doing. He went and put the painted tees. So he was just living like an Atlanta nigga in Mississippi, and it blew him up. And I think Soulja probably was already number 1 in Mississippi too when I seen him, because realistically, it was no real fire rappers out of Mississippi at that time that was unsigned. I mean, you had David Banner and stuff, but he was not on the indie side of the list. So I reached out to him and was like, man, I fuck with your shit. Let's collab. He already knew who he was, because like I said, he was real tapped into the Atlanta market, because that's how he was getting his sound, soaking up his image, all kind of shit. So and because he was just an Atlanta nigga, you know, when he want to go back home, check on some of his old friends, he'll see what they doing in Atlanta, and then he was using that to pipe himself up in Mississippi. He knew who we were, because like I said, we was already taking over the cities and shit like that, each little county, from the skating rings to the football games. He was down for it. So when we did our first song, it was the song called Crank It Up. That was before Crank That Yank, and that was before Crank That Soulja Boy. But he did have a song called Crank That Jump Rope. But technically, I only think Crank That Jump Rope was the first Crank song. The first Crank song I ever heard was Crank That Roosevelt. Shout out PLP, my dog Mega Meezy. They doing big things right now. Meezy, I'm proud of him. He managed 21 Savage and the whole Slaughter Gang thing. So it's like all these things I be saying is like we all kind of like grew up. We all like was in a small little circle. So, but back to the story. When we did the Crank It Up record, it was big on like MySpace, and it helped boost us to where we needed to go. When we did that with Soulja, we finally hit number 1. Soulja seen that how that jump worked, and he was like, man, I'm rocking with y'all. Let's work some more. And since then, it was history. Now, when he put the Crank That Soulja Boy dance out, no, not the dance, I'm sorry. When he came out with the Crank That Soulja Boy song, he had a dance on there. It wasn't the Crank the Soulja Boy dance. It was a different dance that he was doing. And what I did was, when I heard the song, like I told you, we was used to make these long routines up. I was part of a group called the Showstoppers. Showstoppers had Wood Rico. I don't know if you remember that, right? They're my dogs. I was part of it. But this is when Showstoppers didn't rap. They were just dancers. So I used to rap with Cash Camp, and I used to dance with the Showstoppers. So when Soulja Boy came out with the Crank That Soulja Boy song, I was like, man, this song's so hard. I need to put a routine to it. I wouldn't know how to do a routine if it really wasn't for my man Smurf. He the one who slick taught me how to do a 8-count routine and know how to, we used to freestyle dance a lot. That's how I got my name, from freestyling and just like cranking it up. But when I put that routine to the Crank That Soulja Boy dance, this was during a time, like, I don't know what it was, but somehow I was with my little brother, because he lived with me, of course, and his best friend at the time, Lil Light, one of the members that was in my Cash Camp group, he was there too. And I was like, I taught them the routine, and then we just did it. And then we put it on MySpace and YouTube. And then I look up overnight, that junk randomly just had like 2 million views in like a day. I'm like, God damn, well, I knew we was doing numbers, but we ain't never had that high. And the rest was history. Then that's when Soulja Boy changed the original dance that he had, to the dance that we had, because it was like we literally just broke the internet. Like, we didn't need no DJ, we didn't need no radio station, we didn't need nothing. When you get 2 million views overnight, and then that was just the first night. You look up, a month go by, you at 60 million views in a month. It's like, man, this junk just went crazy.
Now, how did that make you feel? Because I know you said you was trying to, go to number one on that chart.
Yeah.
So how did it make you feel, finally?
Oh, yeah. Well, we hit number one, and that was a good feeling. But now it got to the point where now not only are we number one on MySpace, the internet, which is kind of like our own little fantasy world, but we number one in the state too. Like, they got us going to Clark Atlanta football games. They got us going to Valdosta. They got us going to Savannah. Like, we on all these college tours, and we in high school. They got us, like, we was going crazy. Now we number one on the radio, not only just in our city, but other cities, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. Like, that's when we really, really turned up, took it to a next level. I feel like also, group wise, like young group wise, like we was really the first that young from that era. Because of course it was other young groups like Chris Cross who had Jump, but you like actually like real dances before the Cat Daddy or the Jerk or the it's just a lot of things, man. Like, we went to all these people's same cities and networked with all of them, and Slick inspired everybody. It was just like a good feeling to travel across the world. I done been to every state except for Hawaii and Alaska. I want to go to Alaska bad. I was just seeing Ludacris in Alaska drinking glacier water. You seen that? Yeah, that's gonna look amazing. I gotta put that on my before 40. Before I turn 40, I already hit my 30. I can't do 30 before 30, but my 40 before 40, I'm trying to drink some of that glacier water in Alaska, man. It's a good feeling, man. We went number one on TRL, 106 in Park, all that. It was a real good feeling. But like I said, the goal was number one on MySpace, and we went. So what's the term? Shoot for the moon, hit the stars, or shoot for the stars, hit the moon, whichever way. I don't know what's closer, the moon or the stars, one or the other. But that's what it was.
It went further than what you wanted to go.
Yeah.
And that has to be a good feeling. So from there, it's like takeoff time. So from there, what was next for you?
Once okay, so this is where things start getting rocky. Remember, I told you my manager, he told me, we're gonna do all this together. We're gonna put this mixtape out. We're gonna sell it. We're gonna split the profits, right? 50-50 of the mixtape. Man, this man was taking 50% of everything. This man took 50% of our show. We was getting like 10 bands a show. He'll take 5,000. Then give us 5,000, and out the 5,000 that we took, we still got to get him 20% of that, because he wasn't telling us that he wasn't technically he was still in the first 5. You know what I'm saying? And now he give us 5 and like, yeah, this is what we got paid. And this my cut for the 20%, and then this y'all cut. So we'll get 5 bands, and then everybody walk away with like 1,000 in their pocket. You see what I'm saying? Where realistically we was getting 10 bands, and we should all been walking away with like 2,000 in our pocket. But once I realized that was going on, just other things like internally with my group. Remember, I was telling you, I had just graduated, so I just turned 18, so I was old enough to make my own decision. But my little brother, my mom had to co-sign for him, and my other 2 partners in my group, they moms and dads had to co-sign for them. Like, we couldn't sign no deals, we couldn't be on TV, we couldn't do nothing unless somebody parent okayed it and signed it because we was all so young. So I feel like the parents, they egos, want their kid to be the star kid or want their kid to have the most say so or be in front. It was like people like that was fucking our shit up. That's my honest opinion. I tell this to them all the time, like, man, y'all parents fucked it up for y'all. For real. I tell them that all the time. Like, they parents.
You feel like after you graduated and, you know, dealing with that kind of situation kind of started tearing the group apart?
We had a big bidding war for us, right? And I wanted to go to one label that I knew that was gonna be the best. They wanted the other members in my group, their parents wanted to go to another label that was paying more money. And that was like one of the last draws for me. Cause then when we ended up, long story short, we ended up doing a big deal with Sony Epic, right? Sony Epic, they paid more money. So they put the bread to make us go number 1 on 106 and Park Up. They put a lot of money behind radio. They spent a lot of money on us. They gave us some money up front in our pocket. But it was like at that time, they didn't have a real hip hop or urban department like that knew how to really market us the way that we needed to be marketed. Me, I would have went to Interscope or Warner Brothers. There was so many other. We had like 20 labels trying to sign us between independent labels and major labels. Even if we would have went to, let's say, stayed with Sony Epic, we should have had like a better independent label that know more about the urban side. For instance, like Tip tried to sign us. They tried to sign us under Grand Hustle, and they was gonna take us through who Tip was with. Who Tip was signed to? Tip was under Atlantic. They was gonna take us through Atlantic. Atlantic had a little bit more urban, and we got somebody, his whole staff and team, to pretty much know how the urban world works and how this Black community music works. And Sony ain't know what the hell they was doing with us. The only artist they had over there was Cash Camp, Sean Kingston. Sean Kingston really not a rapper. Young Bird. Young Bird is a successful award-winning producer, but his rap career didn't go far, just like ours didn't underneath them. They crashed that man career down too. As soon as he left them, he blew up as hitmaker, making all these crazy beats. And Nipsey Hussle. And guess what? As soon as Nipsey Hussle left them niggas, he blew up too. You know what I mean? R.P. Nip. So, shout out to all 3 of them too, though. When we was young, one thing that they did do is that we had features with all them, man. And Young Bird was on the Crank That Yank remix. We had songs with Sean Kingston. Nipsey was a stand-up guy. We had a record with him, but I ain't never get no real like hold of it, man. We was in the studio. I don't know if they scratched it, threw it away, what. But like I said, we just ain't have the right. I don't think that label was the right label. And my manager wanted to go with that label too. You know why? Because they was paying more money. And like I told you, he was stealing half the money and still taking 20% off of whatever they had. Technically, he was walking away with like 70% because he already was busting down 50, then taking his extra 20. And we walking away with 30.
How long was he doing this that you
man,
know
I don't know
you
when he started.
Realized?
I don't know when he started, but I do know when I found out, I raised hell. I pulled a shotgun, sawed-off shotgun on his head. I was about to shoot his. Yeah, it's all good though. We done kissed and made up since then. Like I said, one thing is this is what I tell everybody too, right? When something's destined for you, it's gonna come to you one way or another. You know what I mean? And everything happens for a reason. When my group broke up, that's when Soulja had called me. He was like, "Playboy, I'm about to start my label SODMG. I want to sign you, A-Rab, and Jabbar. We about to go on tour. We're gonna do this. We about to be making money. Come join SOD with me." guess what I did? I took that opportunity and joined SOD Money Game with Soulja Boy. So now I'm touring the world, and this is another reason why I done been to every state in the United States, because not only because of, when we had our market, we hitting all of the states, where hip hop is big at, but current that Soulja Boy was so big, we performing in Nebraska, we performing in North Dakota, and I'm on road with this man, opening up for him every day. I remember we did the Lil Wayne tour. It was Lil Wayne, Jeezy, Soulja Boy. This was before Drake and Nicki even blew up. Nicki used to come out in the middle of Lil Wayne set, and Drake had his own set, but he went on right before Soulja Boy. So every time, and I opened up for Soulja. So whenever Drake came off the stage, I literally dap this man up every day, shake his hand, give him a hug, and be like, "Good job, bro, you rocked it." He'll give me the mic, and then I go on right next. You know what I mean? And then to watch Drake go into the man that he is today is just, it's crazy. Like, those are experiences that I wouldn't change for the world. You know what I mean? Even though I didn't stay with SOD Money Gang long term, but realistically, ain't nobody said A-Rab ain't over there, Jabbar ain't over there, Soulja still doing his thing. Big Soulja, I'm proud of him. But
Now,
everything happened.
How long were you with them?
With SOD, probably like, I ended up going underneath SOD wing around like 2009, and I think I left like 2013. So that's like 4 years. Yeah.
Okay.
It was like 4 years that we rocked out. But that's just where I left. You know what I mean? I still fuck with Soulja to this day. I just seen him like a month ago at a concert. We had a concert together.
What
in
was
Milwaukee.
that made y'all, split ways?
Kind of like the same situation. So at this time now, I got 2 kids, and I had this song, a hit single called "Make Her Mine." Shout out DJ Spence. He produced it. This was one of DJ Spence's first Billboard charting records. And if you know Spence, y'all know there's a platinum, gold. He a big DJ. But when I dropped "Make Her Mine," right, I had a bidding war for me, and I had like 5 major labels trying to sign me, but everybody thought, technically, realistically, I was never signed to Soulja Boy. He was just my dog. He took me on the road with him. He gave me the big SOD Money Gang chain. I still got it to this day. And long story short, everybody thought I was like in paperwork with him, but I really wasn't, because remember I told you, he said he about to start the label and do everything he needed to do, but he never did it. So here it is, 3-4 years go by, and I got this buzz, and I'm charting on Billboard. I'm doing shows by myself, getting paid 15, 20,000. It's like I'm making money, and I got Def Jam, Atlantic, Warner Brothers, all these other Universal, all these labels trying to sign me, and it looks like my indie label is SOD Money Gang, SODMG, but I don't have no major label. So it was mainly like a bunch of majors trying to put 200,000, 500,000 behind my single. Soulja had his people telling them, we ain't taking no deals for Playboy right now. And the main reason why, which I could understand it, right? But it never happened. Interscope was supposed to be giving Soulja Boy a big deal, like how they did 50 Cent and G-Unit. And then 50 Cent went and signed Yayo, Banks, Buck, and his whole crew, and everybody went platinum and had 5-10 million in their bank. Interscope was supposed to be doing the same thing with Soulja, but for whatever reason, it didn't happen. And they needed me to make that deal go through, because at that time, A-Rab ain't have no song on the radio, and he wasn't charting. Jabbar wasn't either. I was like the biggest asset, because Playboy do what Playboy do. When I go in rooms, I network, I talk to people, I introduce myself, I build relationships, I get phone numbers, and just building my name, and also being with somebody that's a top artist in the country right now. Every day, people rock with me, and not only, like I said, I be having the talent as well. So I got good music. I'm hanging out with A-list celebrity every day. We chilling at Chris Brown house and Rihanna house and all these other big, like, we're in the middle of a circle. These folks wanted me bad. And like I said, I was charting at the time. They turned the deal down, hoping that Interscope was gonna do the big deal. Interscope never did it. And that shit pissed me off so bad, because it was like, y'all was taking food off my plate. That even if I would have did a one single deal with them folks, right? They would have just owned right to that one single, blew it up even more, and then guess what? Now, when it's time to renew and do a second single, or maybe do an album with whoever I was gonna sign to, whether it was Warner Brothers, Universal, or Atlantic, I could tell them no and go to the Interscope deal, or I could have told them, but I guess they feel like I was gonna be too big that I probably wouldn't want to be up underneath Soulja like that anymore. I don't know what the situation was, but they was turning down my deals, and at the same time, it's kind of like we kind of had the same management, and of course, Soulja Boy bringing in, you know, 100,000, 200,000 a month. Playboy only bringing in 10 bands a month. You see what I'm saying? So they going with what Soulja's gonna say and what he gonna do and whatever they think is best for that situation, because that's where the money was at. And that was kind of the conflict of interest. I learned that now. Like, if I was to ever, I don't think I would ever sign on an artist again. Unless it was somebody big like Jay-Z or something. If Jay-Z tried to sign me, I probably would do a partnership with Jigga or something. But like just signing on these Moneybagg Yo or nothing. I love Moneybagg Yo. He's one of my favorite artists right now. That's why I said his name too, by the way. I wouldn't do that. And if I did do it, I damn sure not about to have the same management that he got, because it's a conflict of interest, because my manager is supposed to have my best interest. But if the dude that you signed to is also his best interest and he's making more money, then it just doesn't add up.
It don't add up.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of like what happened in that situation.
Split? How did y'all, you know, split and still, you know, keep the cordialness between y'all?
Oh, I was mad as hell at first. I told them niggas, fuck you, fuck him, fuck that nigga. I don't want to be. And Soulja and Soulja younger than me too. And I tell him this to this day. He stayed cool. He was like, Playboy, I never said this, I never said that. Miscommunication, dog, bro. You still my dog, but I'm just hot headed. He ain't had no kids then. I think he got 2 kids now. But now as a daddy, he see like when you got a soul and a life to look after, you look at life a little different. It's a little different compared to being, you know, a 19-year-old kid with 40 million in your bank and you ain't got no kids. Man, I was at that time, I probably was like 22. Most I probably seen in my pocket might have been like, I mean, for a show, it's probably like I said, maybe like 20. But then you got to give these people that. You pay a DJ, you pay a hype man. I'm walking away actually with maybe like a 10 after I bust down all the booking fees and stuff. And we were on the road.
Most people don't talk about that or think about
a lot. We was on the road a lot. So I'm buying, we bougie. I see Soulja doing shit, I'm trying to do it. That nigga Soulja buy a new pair of drawers, throw them shits in the goddamn hotel trash, and we buy new clothes every fucking city. We ain't traveling without luggage. Man, we was burning through that money so motherfucking fast. But I had it coming in, but at the same time, I was burning through it so fast. That's why I learned to save my money. Now, majority of my money put up in investment accounts, IRAs, and all that type shit, LMSs, stocks and bonds. Like, you gotta let your money make you money. I literally was just talking to my financial advisor earlier today, and he was like, bro, your portfolio done grew so big. He was like, we might as well just take this and put it here. He telling me that the market look like it's about to shift because interest rates going down. That means the stocks are gonna go up. I'm like, well, all right, let's do it. That's what I pay you for. You know, like now I ain't blowing that money like that no more. Hell nah. I learned that at an early age. Going to Johnny Dang and buying $20,000 on chains. And then that's why I say also, and no offense to Arab or Jabbar, right? Them was my dogs, them my brothers. But their main source of income was from Soulja. My main source of income was from myself because I had Crank That Yank and I had Make Her Mine, and both of them was charting, and I was able to get show money on my own. So it'll be times where we'll go out and Soulja will buy, you know, a watch and some jewelry and shit, and everybody else just sitting there looking. I'm like, shit, I'm about to buy me a motherfucking watch too. You see what I'm saying? I had the money, but then you thinking that, okay, yeah, I'll spend this, whatever it is, it's 8,000 or whatever it is on this jewelry. It's gonna come back to me next week anyways, but eventually next week stop coming. You see what I'm saying? So that's what really was fucking me over.
So after leaving, you know, Soulja Boy, after parting ways, you know, where did you go next, and what was next for you? What that next thing was?
After I left SODMG, it was kind of rough because, like I told you, the main reason why I left is because they turned down a lot of my deals, and I was blowing so much money And this is Make a Mine probably was already out for like a year, so it kind of like hit its peak already. So now most I can probably get for a show is about $2,000, you know what I mean? And now you're only doing 1-2 shows a month. So I'm living off 2,000 a month type shit, trying to keep up with the Joneses. Excuse me, and it wasn't working. So I had to figure it out, man. You said don't incriminate yourself, but I had to start doing a lot of crazy ass shit
So
to
you started doing some
maintain the
hustle moves to get
lifestyle,
the money.
to maintain the lifestyle that I wanted and that I needed, and that so I could fund and continue to do everything that I'm doing now by myself. And it was like, yeah, I could have went and got a job at Foot Locker or some shit like that, but it just wouldn't have worked. Me sitting with a referee shirt on, trying to sell somebody some shoes, and they be like, "Nigga, wasn't you on 106 and Park 5 years ago? Or didn't I just see you on tour with Soulja Boy a year ago? Like, the fuck you doing in Foot Locker?" Like, I couldn't do it, so I had to. We started throwing parties, and I became a promoter at one point, and was making money off using my social media platforms, promoting people. I remember they had this one thing where this when Twitter was popping, you get paid off of tweets. Like, you just send a link out, and let's say this was one of the people that used to pay a lot of money. It was like this weight loss pill, and every time somebody click on the link, I get paid like a quarter. And they'll give you a script to say like, "Hey, check out such and such weight loss pills, lose 10 pounds in a week." I'll post it. I got 50, 60,000 followers at the time. I'll post it. Maybe only about 20 people will click on it. That ain't no money. And I used to change that script and put, "Damn, Rihanna look fine as hell in this bikini on the beach." Man, that shit used to have so many damn clicks. And then we'll look up, I'll just make $3,000 just off of a tweet. So we started figuring out ways to finesse, jug, get what we got to get to make it work. And then eventually, as I just started stacking my money up, building my brand, I ended up starting my own label. It's called Pay Up Music Group. It's me, my brother, and my cousin. We're the founders of it. And I ended up signing like 5 artists. So yeah, it was
Now,
just like I wanted to
what year,
become.
how long were you in that transition phase of hustling it up? After 2014, when y'all separated, how
Probably
long?
like 5 years. Like
Okay.
2019 is like when Pay Up like really popped off for me.
Okay.
I wasn't making the money or I wasn't as up as I am now, but that's when it's like I start back getting other song placements and mix shows and on radio and charting again and just little things like that. So like around 2019, that's when me and my guys, we like really took over Atlanta. We started just popping out more, looking good, and just making a statement and making a movie when we go out. But see, also then, like I told you, I was behind the scenes a lot, so I was pushing some of my artists more than I was pushing myself. And as a CEO, sometimes you realize that everybody drive ain't as hard as yours. So I had to let some of them go because I'm paying for video shoots and we buying chains and we paying DJs to play their songs in the club and just helping them blow up in the city. But I just feel like some of their work ethics wasn't as big as mine. So right now, at the moment, it's only 3 of us, and including myself and my brother, and both of us are owners of the company. And then my other brother, he not an owner, but he down and he still make music too. Young Dirty, shout out to Dirty. And, but at the moment too, it was like when I had to let go my other 2 artists, and I had another artist too, but she wasn't signed to me on paperwork. I had a female artist that we was pushing heavy, blowing her up in the strip clubs, blowing her up like this is before like female artists like Pop. I was like, man, if she would have just stayed down, cause that whole female wave came in, I already knew she would have been one of the ones. But she was hard. But it just people work ethic, man. They just I don't know. Everybody vision ain't your vision.
Yes.
I can see a superstar in you, but if you look in the mirror and don't see a superstar, it's not gonna work. When I look in the mirror today and brush my teeth, I see a superstar. I see a multi-millionaire. I see, like I said, I'm trying to one day have 200 million in my bank account. You know what I mean? So I see it. If you dream it and if you believe it, all you gotta do is go in that direction. It's gonna come to you. That's how you manifest anything. So
Yes.
I've been doing that my whole life.
And now, so after, starting the new label now, working with your brother, how has things been going? Like, talk about these last couple of years and how things been going.
Easier. It's been easier now because I'm just putting the money behind myself. And I believe I'm betting on myself all the time. I will put the house behind me. because I know my work, I know my talent, I know my work ethic, I know my history, I know I got the experience. I'm not gonna ever let no manager get me for 70% again. I ain't never gonna sign on an artist and have the same, share the same manager with him. It's like, it's so many things that I learned and L's that I took that, you know, I'm just not gonna make no mistakes no more. You know what I mean? I know that the value of your dollar is in your masters. And that's another thing. Like I told you, you said when I start popping off, it's like 2019. That's when I found out about, like, because before 2019, I used to upload all my music through CD Baby. But then once I found a better distribution company, and then I started distributing my music, and I'm able to promote and boost my music the way I want. Now I'm making 1,200 on the low end, 2,500 on the high end, just off of people listening to my music. I don't even got to work no job no more. Yeah, and that was paying all my little bills. You know what I mean? I own my house. A mortgage is cheap. It's not like I'm renting. I got partners in the city of Atlanta. They rent, and they shit like 3,500 a month. I'm like, bro, you paying 3,500? I think my sister told me her rent $4,000. I'm like, you paying $4,000 a month for your rent? Hell no. But my mortgage is like a fourth of that. Like, what's going on? Like, it's certain ways that just to make things look good. And then that's another thing. A lot of people don't know business aspects of having a house. You can go get a HELOC, having life insurance, you can borrow against your face value. It's just so many things that you can learn how to pull money out of your ass and put it somewhere else. And if you got the right money invested into the right stuff, then it's gonna double it, and then you're gonna get them their money back and do the same thing over and over again. You know what I mean? It's
now,
like,
you sound very intelligent when it comes to the business, when it comes to, your life experiences help teach you that kind of stuff. But did you have anyone in your corner motivating you, coaching you, giving you advice when you were going through all of these different things?
Trial and error. Of course, my mom always motivated me and try to, tell me certain things, but my mom ain't tell me about no life insurance. Heck, my mom don't even she got life insurance now. Me and my siblings pay for it. You know what I mean? Like, my mom ain't tell me about buying no house and how to jug off your equity. Like, my mom never even owned a house. You know what I mean? So, but she still motivated me in certain ways to help me figure it out. You know what I mean? So my mom always been in my corner and always been a strong support system. My dad and I, we got a closer bond too to this day. Like, my dad big on like gambling and stuff. So like every year we go to Vegas and do a big gamble trip. Last year I won $11,000. And my thing is like, you gotta play big to win big. And that's just not with gambling, but that's just in life in general. Like, you got to give it your all. Either I'm gonna put this music all the way out and it's gonna blow all the way up, or I'm gonna, put it out just a little bit and I'm gonna be hot just for a little bit. It's like, you gotta go big or go home with it. So yeah. I feel like just little life experiences that I be learning from my parents and from my friends, and also like my brother too. Like, my brother, that's my business partner. So I watch him go through all that shit too. At one time, my brother was goddamn up here, and and he my little brother, and I used to have to ask him like, bro, I need to borrow $1,000 or something. He'll look out for me and give it to me. So it's just learning these life experiences and applying them to the music industry. And that's how it worked. That's how I've been working.
So what's next for you?
Right now, man, I'm trying to get this multi-million-dollar empire to where it need to be. Hopefully, like I said, I'm not opposed to signing no deal or nothing like that, but I would definitely want, if it was that type of situation, some type of joint venture or partnership, or maybe just even like a dope ass distribution like Empire or something like that. Because like I said, right now I'm doing 100% fully independent. I'm a real independent artist. It's a difference between being an independent artist and an unsigned artist. You know what I mean? Like, I really make moves like I'm a major artist. Like, we'll go to the club and you hear my music play. You see our signs, you see our promo, you see my shirt, you see my chain. Like, I'm big on branding. Like, everywhere we go is like Playboy, Pay Up Music Group. So people that know me as Lil Playboy, however you want to call it, man. That's the next move, man. I'm just trying to, and no shade to nobody, right? I'm big on motivation. This is motivational to me, right?
And honestly, your story is a motivational story. So that's why,
Yeah.
my next question is, if the people, the people are going to see this. And if you had to lead people with, you know, who are trying to come up in the industry the way you came up in the industry, you know, trying to do music, trying to dance or anything like that, what will you say to those new people trying to, you know, put their foot in the game?
I tell them stay down and don't give up. I feel like that's because some of the things that I went wrong at. Because like I said, at one point I wanted to be a CEO and I was trying to, you know, push other artists. And I wasn't pushing myself. I wasn't putting music. I didn't put music out for probably like 5-6 years. But if I would have just kept going, I probably would have been 5-6 more years of where I'm at now. You know what I mean? So just stay down, man. If you, unless you just want to be, you know, a P, or if you want to be a Coach K, then yeah, do that. But I want to be an artist. I want them platinum plats. I want to go diamond. The same way when I seen Drip Too Hard go diamond, I'm like, damn, Lil Baby and Gunna just went diamond. You know, Fetty Wap Track Queen went diamond. I'm like, bro, that's what I want. I want the accomplishments. I want that for sure. 21 is one of my homeboys, man, and this nigga is got multiple platinum plaques, but this nigga got Grammys now. You see what I'm saying? So it's like the watch, and then that's when 21 started popping in Atlanta, like 2014, around the time when I stopped rapping. You know what I mean? And started trying to, you know, do the artist thing. Like I told you, one of his managers, he was on the same thing. He was a rapper, then he stopped, then he started managing, and then he ended up getting that whole little Stone Mountain area. He had that junk on lock. So it's like, man, I tried to switch and do something that I really ain't want to do. Do what you know you got to do. Stay focused and do it, and don't give up. Keep going, because eventually all your hard work gonna pay off. And if you quit too early, then guess what? All your hard work was for nothing. I ain't doing all this for nothing. Nah, I could be satisfied with my little stream money that come in every month, or I can just keep going. And then you look up. Yeah, now I'm getting. I seen Russ show off his TuneCore check. That joint was like 200,000. He said he made that in a month. Who don't want to make 200,000 in a month in your sleep?
Mm-hmm. So now to tell everyone all of the different platforms you're on, how they can tap into you, how they can tap into whatever you got coming up, you know, all of that. Put all your addies and everything out there.
Yeah. Make sure y'all follow me on everything, man. All of my mentions are pretty much the same. It's Lil Playboy, LILPLAYBOII. Like I said, my official artist name is PLAYBOII. If you try to find me on any platform, just write Playboy, but you gotta put the spaces between it. So we had to do that for legal reasons, man. So yeah, my official artist name is PLAYBOII, which is Playboy. And but all of my social media is Lil Playboy. That's what the world known me as for the past 20 years. And you know, I got so many followers on there, it didn't make sense to really just be trying to switch stuff up. And then, because guess what? That was another mistake I did one time too. I changed my name and I lost a lot of followers, and a lot of people ain't know who I was, and they just got lost in the sauce. Sometimes it's like, how y'all forget? Y'all still see my pictures in it. But I changed it back and made it back work, got it back right. So Lil Playboy, LILPLAYBOII. That's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, anything you could think of, I'm on there for sure. Lock in with me. I'm and also
what's happening?
Up and coming artist, man. I'm up and coming artist, man. I'm down for collabs. I'm big on collabs. I'm not one of these bougie artists that can try to charge you. If you got a hot song, hit me up, man. I'm big. I'll hop on it. If it's something that ain't really that hot, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say, hey, this one was cool, but you know, let's go harder, keep working, and in 6 months, reach out to me then. You know what I mean? But if you got something that's hot and you want to feature, come holler at me, man. I'm down to network. I'm big on networking. I've always been that way. Let's work. I work every day.
Look, I appreciate you for zooming in to tell your story, because like I said earlier in the interview, it is inspirational. My whole platform is to inspire and motivate other people to continue to go after everything that they want in life.
Yeah.
And I feel like you didn't give up. After all of the trials and tribulations and things that you done went through, you kept pushing, and you still pushing to reach higher goals.
Yes.
So I appreciate you for coming through, and I can't wait to see what's next.
I thank you for having me, and thank you guys for supporting my new single, Spend a Milli. You know, I put the media-based report today, and I see y'all going in on it for me, man. And you know, it feels good. Thank you for all the support. Like I said, I already know we got it's a small step on a long journey. I just, you know, need y'all support, not just the radio station, but to all the fans listening. You know, sometimes it might take a record 2 years to blow up. Like I said earlier, Fetty Wap went diamond off Track Queen, but that man said that that song ain't get on radio for after 2 years. He had it out. He put it out and pushed that song for 2 years, and then it finally hit radio. I had this song out for 2 months and we on radio already, so it feels good. Thank you guys. Hopefully that when I get these plats coming in, I can send one to y'all, and we're gonna have it hanging up on the wall.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.